Crimson Desert is one of those games that feels like it's been trying to figure out just what exactly it is for years. This is a game that started out as an MMO, and then it completely changed into something else. A full single-player experience with systems and ideas that still feel like they were pulled from its original DNA. And after all the time in development, after trailers and hands-on with the game, it finally released. And the reaction? Not bad, just not as amazing as people were expecting. Reviews came in heavily mixed. Some people absolutely love it, some people think it's messy, others aren't even sure what it's really trying to be. And yet, despite all of that, the game still managed to sell over 2 million copies within the first 24 hours. Which is kind of the perfect way to describe Crimson Desert as a whole, because this is a game that clearly has something working, and it's clearly appealing to a large amount of people. But it also feels like it's still carrying this massive weight of what the game was originally set up to be. And after spending roughly a dozen hours with the game, I think that's where its strengths and weaknesses come from. When I first started playing Crimson Desert, I honestly was expecting to be blown away. Going into this game, I had ridiculously high expectations because everything that we saw leading up to it made it seem like this was a game that was honestly going to be endless. So much action, so much world, so much story packed into one experience that this game just seemed like it was supposed to be the second coming of The Witcher 3. But I honestly think that's my fault, because if you really paid attention to the game and you paid attention to what they were saying, you would have known, I would have known, that going into it to expect a very different experience. This is a game that absolutely still has its roots in the MMO Black Desert Online, which is made by the same developers, Perlibus. And what they transitioned over was essentially the base level experience that you find in Black Desert, except now it's Crimson Desert and it's a single player experience. But that baseline is still there. That foundation is still the exact same. And I think that's where a lot of the problems come from, because a lot of people go into a game like Crimson Desert expecting a story that is pushing you forward, that is making you want to go out into the world and explore, that is sending you to all sorts of different regions and giving you a reason to go out there, to do what you're supposed to do, and to have a heroic journey of like, you're this guy, you're Cliff, and you're going out there and you're gonna save the world. And instead what it is you're Cliff, a blank character with a cool voice, and you're going out there to do everybody's busy work, and the story is pointless and useless, and it's essentially just a giant open action sandbox. The exploration is cool because you see cool things, but there isn't really much out there because a lot of what you see is copy and paste. A lot of the experiences are experiences that you have within the first few hours, just on repeat. And then even looking at the trailers, it's like, yeah, there's mounts. There's mounts in the game. There's a dragon mount, but it's on a timer. All the mounts are on a timer. So there's almost no reason to go find the mounts and tame them and use them because you can't really. You can only use them for a short period of time. Everything about the game just feels like it can't let go of that MMO foundation. Except in an MMO, you're doing it so that you can get better, so that you can tackle harder dungeons, so that you could tackle harder bosses, so that you could raid, so that you can show people like, oh man, look at this cool armor that I got. Look at this cool sword that I got. Like, I had to do the raid 17 times to be able to get this, to show everybody that I'm the best. And now it's like you're kind of doing that, except you're showing nobody. The progress is for you. Every time I play the game, I just feel like, why? What is the point of all this? I'm not doing it for the story, because the story's not good. I'm not really doing it for the experience because I don't love the experience. The combat feels very Assassin's Creed, except with more buttons that aren't really great and add really nothing to it. There's a level up system where you can level up skills and make combat feel a little bit more intense by giving you different combos and different ways of tackling your enemies, but you also don't really need to use it. You can kind of just slash and block and parry, and the parry doesn't work exactly because the camera is fighting you the entire time, and the enemy attacks have very strange tells that also are blocked by all the particles, and the camera just doing whatever the fuck it wants to do. It's like this game is fighting you the entire time, and yet I can't stop playing it. And I honestly think that that's what this game is able to achieve that many others aren't. There's a lot of games that set you up for success, and if they don't nail everything, you drop off very easily. And this game is not setting you up for success at all because it has a really bad start that's slow and boring. The controls are fighting you the whole way. The UI sucks. Yeah, they updated it and it works a little bit better now, but it kind of still sucks. There's points of interest all over the map that you see in the distance, but none of them are really special. Like, the way I'm describing the game makes it sound like it sucks and that you shouldn't play it. But for some reason, I do want to see more. For some reason, I do want to keep playing. For some reason, I do want to go do that next quest. And I don't know why, and I can't really describe it. It's almost like because they're giving me this giant open sandbox, there must be something good out there. And the parts that they're doing decently well at is enough to keep me going, when normally it's not. Maybe it is because it has such grounded roots in the MMO genre, and MMOs are so good at just keeping you going one more quest, one more quest, one more quest. Just go over here and do that one thing to get this one upgrade to level up your stuff. And I don't really want it to work because I don't think the game deserves it to work because it does so much wrong. And that doesn't mean that it's not going to get better. They're already focused on doing things better. People have found AI art in the game. That's not good. But Crimson Desert has responded almost immediately to let people know that that's going to change. We would like to address questions regarding the use of AI in Crimson Desert. During development, some 2D visual props were created as part of early stage iteration using experimental AI generative tools. These assets helped us rapidly explore tone and atmosphere in the earlier phases of production. However, our intention has always been for any such assets to be replaced, following final work and review by our art and development teams, with work that aligned with our quality standards and creative direction. Following reports from our community, we have identified that some of these assets were unintentionally included in the final release. This is not in line with our internal standards, and we take full responsibility for it. And that's great. And there are people who are saying, realistically, typically in temporary art, you use something that is very clearly temporary so that it is easy to be caught so that you can replace it easily. This is something that seemed like it was designed to be blended in with the game, and that unless you were really paying attention, you wouldn't notice it. So it almost seems like they really did this on purpose, and now that people caught it, they're making this excuse. Whatever. Hate AI, don't hate AI. I don't think that really has any bearing on whether you like the game or not because it's something so small. But I think this is a hard game to like. I think this is a hard game to tell people to try. Like even right now, telling you about this game. Am I having a good time with it? Yes. Why? I don't really know. I really don't know. The game is less like The Witcher and more like Tears of the Kingdom. Except playing Tears of the Kingdom, everything about Tears of the Kingdom felt fun. When you're exploring, it felt fun. When you're climbing, it felt fun. When you're cooking, it felt fun. When you're doing the dungeons, fun. When you're doing the puzzles, fun. Everything was fun, perfectly crafted to give you an excellent experience from start to finish. And this game seems like they saw Tears of the Kingdom and said, how do we copy that, except make everything annoying and not as good and feel almost pointless? Because that's the other thing too. This world is big, but why is it big? I couldn't really tell you. Where Tears of the Kingdom seems big because the world is crafted around that. It's a lived-in world that you want to explore, where each area is dynamic. Each area feels purposely placed because there's history there. There's a heritage there. There's a culture there. There's a different environment. There's different weather. There's different experiences. There's different dungeons, different enemies, everything. And this game just kind of feels like it's big because MMOs are big. And this is a single-player MMO. And I think when people saw this game, they expected something more. And then people say, you know, Crimson Desert, oh, well, there's no story in Elden Ring. So why are people complaining about the story sucking in this game? I get it, but Elden Ring had the gameplay that pushed you forwards. And the story was kind of just delivered through the gameplay subtly. And if you wanted to really go deep into the gameplay, you had to kind of figure it out on your own. But the gameplay carried it, and the world carried it, because the world was built for exploration. This game, the world doesn't seem built for exploration. The world seems built to be big and to take up time to get across it. It's why you could barely glide. Your stamina runs out so quickly, because if you could glide really far across the map, it would defeat the purpose of having a huge map, because you could just get across it quickly. This game is really built around things that take up your time, like an MMO. Everything is built on getting you in a cycle of this takes time, this takes time. It's almost like you're playing Valheim. That's kind of what this game is. You go into it expecting one thing, but the game is really just an open world survival game, essentially, without the survival mechanics and more of the cycle. Essentially, you need to get the materials to do this, to get you to this area, to get those materials to do this, to get you to the next area, to get those materials, to get this, to level up, to fight this guy, to get those things, to go this. Like, it's that experience, but put in a package that makes you think it's The Witcher. They succeeded, I guess, in what they want to do, and they succeeded in that they're selling tons of copies, and they succeeded in that they got 200,000 current players on Steam and probably tons all over the other platforms like PlayStation and Xbox. But I don't know if the game is great. I really don't know. It's weird. It's such a weird game to talk about. It's such a weird game to experience. It's good and it's bad, but I want to keep playing. I want to keep experiencing more. I do want to see what's out there. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why. Zelda makes you want to. Elden Ring makes you want to. This game, I guess it's making me want to, but I don't know why. It's not a bad game. It's just not a great game, but something about it has its hooked me, and maybe you should try it.